And my thought for the day really is the comparison between a downward spiral and an upward spiral. And typically when you hear downward spiral, it's associated with very negative emotions, very negative seasons in which an individual is having a bad run, going through a series of negative events, bad leading on to bad, loss leading on to loss, and emotionally draining and going lower and lower within themselves. And it's not what you want. But whilst we hear about downward spirals so much, we don't necessarily hear about upward spirals. So what would an upward spiral look like? Well, in a downward spiral, there's two things that really are at play. One is the emotions are governing the experiences of the individual. And secondly, it seems normally in those situations that the individual can become quite passive. As it were, life seems to be happening to them. So if you juxtapose that or change that over and look at an upward spiral, in this case, the individual is living with proactivity, is living with clear set intentions, and is probably quite committed. And those three things are driving them to move through levels and then forever levels and forever levels, like a game with different bosses. And as they complete those levels and rise to the occasion, they increase their potential, they increase their capacity, and they begin to have new experiences, moving them upwards in those experiences. And just like with a negative scenario, a positive scenario happens where good goes on to good, opportunity goes on to opportunity, improvements lead up to improvements, and examples of how to win are kind of put into all aspects of their lives. So that's what an upward cycle, an upward spiral could look like. The question is this though, could you have an contextually outwardly downward spiral in your experiences, but still be inwardly and in your character have an upward spiral?